Am I the asshole for not giving my nephew my dog? Just some background info. My 33 female sister, 35 female, moved in with me and my partner 6 years ago when my nephew Jaden, now 11, was 5. She was going through a really rough breakup with Jaden's father and needed support. She started dating Steve about 2 years ago and they just recently moved in together. About a year after they moved in, I adopted a husky mix named Flynn. My nephew loves Flynn to pieces. Flynn is a very well-behaved but active guy. We have a fenced-in yard for him and we also take him for 2 walks a day. He was kennel trained as a puppy while we were working on potty training, but now that he's older we never lock him in his kennel. The door is just open with his dog bed and toys in so he can lay in there as he pleases. Here's where our issues started. My sister and Jaden just moved in with Steve. Jaden was really sad to be leaving our home, but we tried to make plans so he could come back and visit whenever he wanted and encourage him to give Steve and their new family a chance. Jaden asked me if he could take Flynn to his new house. I was very sympathetic and had a serious conversation with him about it, but I told him the answer would have to be no. Steve is afraid of big dogs. He always avoided Flynn while visiting in our home and would make comments about keeping him in his cage. Also, as much as my nephew loves Flynn, he was never responsible for his care in any way and I don't think he understands how much responsibility it takes. I thought that was the end of the story, but I recently got a phone call from my sister, furious that I wouldn't let Jaden have his dog. She said that Steve wanting to kennel the dog wasn't a deal breaker and I was just being selfish. I explained to my sister that Flynn needs a lot of exercise. We have a large, fenced-in yard. She does not. We take him for multiple walks a day and we never keep him locked in his kennel. At this point he's 5 years old. He hasn't been locked away in his kennel since he was a puppy potty training. She argued with me that he would only be in the kennel until Jaden got home from school and overnight, that's the majority of the day, and that she would make Jaden walk him. I told her that I was sorry, but Flynn is my dog and I'm not budging. She told me that I'm not welcome in her home anymore and that I'm no longer allowed to see my nephew. This is not behavior that's normal for my sister and it's made me wonder AITA for not just giving my nephew my dog. I'm saddened by this. You took your sister in when she needed you, and her thank you was trying to take away your dog cause her kid wanted it? She clearly doesn't understand what it takes to have a dog and I would worry for any dog she might own in the future. Now, putting this aside, this is your dog. You trained him, you feed him, you take care of him on a daily basis. Loving a dog is not enough to provide him with a happy and healthy lifestyle. Even more so when talking about huskies and their relatives, as they are known for their high levels of energy. You are his home, don't let anyone make you think otherwise. Your sister owes you an apology. Oh yeah, and not the asshole. ETA. Wow, thanks for all the rewards, guys. I'm happy to see people seem to agree. Caring for a 4-legged fella is no easy job, and loving them is the treat we get as a reward after doing all the hard work, not the other way around. Original poster's post is textbook no good deed goes unpunished. I think I've been in Am I the Asshole too long, but given this is so out of character I worry that Steve has done this in order to foster an argument between them and isolate the sister. Yeah, I want to see the best in people, but this smells fishy. Not the asshole. A 11-year-old kid cannot take the responsibility about a dog. You are a very careful dog owner and your decision is absolute correct. Agreed. Plus, dogs are part of a family to me. You don't give them away like possessions cause someone wants them. Original poster is defo not the asshole. Why her sister thinks it's a reasonable request is beyond me. Plus it sounds like the nephew can just come and visit the dog. Not the asshole. I'm guessing your sister is having an emotional reaction to the fact that her son isn't enjoying the move and is asking to go back to yours. Maybe she was hoping that Flynn moving to theirs would fix everything and is a little desperate with things not working out. Ultimately, when a pet is included in our lives we are responsible for making healthy decisions for them, and Flynn staying with you is the healthy decision. I hope your sister calms down and things get back to a relative normal soon. I think this is likely correct. It's a shame, but I hope the sister gets her head on straight soon. And original poster, make sure your dog is chipped and that you have some documents proving your ownership at hand. It's unlikely your sister will escalate with this nonsense, but, sigh, better safe than sorry. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Flynn was never your nephew's dog and keeping a high-energy dog locked in a cage all day is terrible. If her boyfriend is afraid of big dogs then they can get your nephew a little dog or a cat that wouldn't be neglected to a cage for the majority of the day. If this isn't normal behavior for her then keep an eye on that boyfriend. Yeah, I'm a little worried that sister is going out of her way to try and twist things around to make this new living arrangement work with the boyfriend and her kid. Why would the boyfriend want the dog there if he is uncomfortable with big dogs? Why wouldn't sister respect that? If her kid is so upset by the move, why doesn't she try family therapy instead of making the dog the solution to difficult emotional changes? Question mark. Okay, leaving the kennel stuff out of it, Flynn is your dog. He has always been your dog. What the hell is your sister on about? You generously let her stay in your house and now she thinks she is entitled to your dog? And not just that, the sister is expecting an 11-year-old to take a husky out on 2 long walks a day. Who TF thinks that's possible? Even if the kid would put in the responsibility and the time, huskies pull. They're bred to pull. That kid would fly away like a glove in the wind without proper, constant training that he doesn't know how to give to Flynn. And walks usually aren't enough. Judging by what I know of sled dogs I've seen in the past, I assume that by walks, original poster is talking about long jogging rounds or riding around with Flynn on a bicycle or something like that. They're not happy, healthy family dogs with just 2 walks a day. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Also, get your dog chipped if he's not, cameras around the house, and the door locks changed. We have heard many stories on this subreddit about people stealing pets they feel entitled to. You absolutely do not want her just coming and taking the dog while you're out. And if she does, you need proof in the form of footage and a chip. Yes, this. Holy crap, that is a crazy, unrealistic, and inconsiderate ask. Not the asshole, your sister is. She's delusional and refuses to see the reality of having this dog. Why did she ever think the dog was her son's? And she shut you out of their lives after you were generous with your home? Is the new boyfriend a bad influence? I need an update. Has sister seen the light? Any change in the situation? There are plenty of dogs to adopt for nephew. Edits for grammar. There was a dog in the house, son played with said dog, hence his son's dog. I heard that one before, referred to a friend's cat. For both sister and son, the dog was something that was in the house, like the TV, convenient to have and available whenever. But they don't understand that as a living creature, dog needs some structure, exercise in a safe environment, that sister cannot provide. And that's a reason I won't have a pet. I don't know if I can make that commitment, so I don't want a poor living thing to suffer. I have enough making sure my plants stay alive. Not the asshole. Sounds like the transition to Steve's house is going bumpy and she is grasping at straws to smooth the transition. Having a dog and providing what is needed takes a commitment, and I doubt your sister is prepared to provide this right now. Her attentions are probably on meshing the relationships. Frankly, throwing a dog into the mix will just cause unnecessary stress. You're doing her a favor if you don't hand over the leash. Lastly, this is your dog, it's not a toys to pass around. If she wants a dog, she can go adopt one of her own. Agree. Original poster should not even need to discuss reasons why, like kenneling or walks, that just clouds the issue and gives her reason to argue. It's your dog, end of discussion. Yeah, absolutely, there is no reason to debate with the sister further, it's just the poster was saying that they didn't know why their sister was acting like this and then that it was unusual, which is why they were thinking they were an asshole. The poster should not debate their sister any further, there is a simple explanation for her behavior and it's not because they are wrong. Of course you're not the asshole. It's your dog, not Jaden's. The whole kennel thing doesn't even matter, since it's your dog. Curious though, what makes your sister believe the dog is Jaden's? Edit. Deleted a word. Because he is her precious baby and deserves everything he wants, obviously. Not the asshole, your sister is trying to manipulate you. It's your dog. You would be an asshole if you did give that kid the dog only to have it crated and neglected most of the day. Not the asshole, exactly this, it's not just about your nephew. That dog is in his home and should not have to leave to live in a kennel sad and lonely to satisfy the whims of others. Wow, let your sister stew in her temper. Not the asshole. I'm guessing that Jaden is not happy living with Steve and has expressed so, perhaps mentioned he missed the dog as an excuse, maybe he doesn't feel he can freely express his feelings about it. So in your sister's mind the solution to her son's unhappiness about the living situation is to bring the dog into it. She's wrong. The dog is not the solution to an altogether different problem. Forget the reasons why not, gives her something to argue against, the dog is yours. That's enough. This. The sister is irrationally upset because it's not working and she's looking for an easy solution. Please don't give in. Not the asshole, it sucks that your nephew has a strong bond with Flynn, but at your sister's house, he'd be a prisoner, not to mention they never actually provided for Flynn. Dogs are expensive as hell and need the room to stretch themselves tired. Your sister and nephew are being selfish if they're refusing to acknowledge Flynn's quality of life will drastically change if he's under their care. If your nephew wants a dog, then your sister needs to adopt a low-energy couch potato of a dog breed. One that will be content with minimal movement for long durations of time, even though that's not healthy for any dog. Dogs like that exist? My chihuahuas are lazy couch potatoes. They would rather lay in my lap all day and not move lol. However, they need lots of love and attention, not put in a cage all day and night. Not the asshole. It's your dog, that's all the explanation required. Yeah, exactly right. Doesn't need to get any more complicated than that. Absolutely not the asshole. Now I'm not going to be mad at a child for being disappointed about leaving a dog it's known for years, however, your sister is an absolute entitled B for thinking you should give him your dog. How dare she say that you're not welcome in her home and can't see your nephew after you opened up your home to her for years. Hopefully she will realize she is in the wrong, but if not, it may be for the better because nobody needs this type of toxicity in their life. Not the asshole. Considering you opened up your home for your sister and nephew when they needed it most, your sister has a short memory. Her behavior is entitled and immature. Flynn is your dog, you love him too, you take care of him, and they cannot just take him because they want him. Life doesn't work that way. If your nephew wants a dog so much, let his mother get him one. If you let Flynn go, his life will be miserable.